Alright, welcome everybody to another special BDA transmission. This is Mr.BDA with you. I was making the rounds here, reading the news regarding boxing, and of course I came upon an article saying that Floyd Mayweather wants to put Gervonta Davis in against Vasyl Lomachenko. Now there's some speculation that Gervonta Davis is giving Mayweather his promoter. A little bullshit, and this is Mayweather trying to either scare him or throw him in with the wolves and cash him out. Now, whatever the reason may be, I'm reading comments all over the internet, and some people are saying that the consensus seems to be that Lomachenko beats Gervonta Davis. There's also some people saying that Gervonta Davis avoided Lomachenko, what was it, a year ago? Or something like that. And I'm thinking, look, the guy was, what, rated in the top 10 when he was at 130? Now he's at 135, he's not even rated there. Talking about Gervonta Davis, that is. And the guy's 23 years old. This is what happens with most boxing fans. They see somebody with hand speed, with great athleticism, power, like Gervonta Davis, and they expect him to jump right in there with the best. Now, there have been fighters in their early 20s who have stepped up and gone on to become big stars and Hall of Fame fighters. Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather. You know, De La Hoya took on Genaro Hernandez and Julio Chavez, I think before he was 24. Mayweather, second year in as a pro, took on Genaro Hernandez and stopped him. You know, Fernando Vargas, I think he was 21 when he took on Yuri Boy Campos, or maybe even younger. Vasyl Lomachenko, of course, in his third fight, took on the very dangerous and skilled Gary Russell Jr. So there are, you know, cases where guys step up to the plate very early on in their careers and end up with championships. Gervonta Davis already did it by winning an alphabet title. But do we really expect him to step up in there against Lomachenko? You know, some people are saying, oh, he avoided Lomachenko. Why is he in the running to fight Lomachenko? This is a guy who made Nicholas Walters quit. He made Guillermo Ringo, that two-time Olympic gold medalist, quit. Undefeated at that, by the way. He forced Jason Sosa, a very strong fighter, forced his corner to stop the fight. He stopped Mariaga, something Oscar Valdez couldn't do, and now we know Oscar Valdez is a pretty good fighter. I think, and you know, like Lomachenko, he beat up Gary Russell Jr. late in the fight. Wasn't, you know, it was clear he won the fight against a fast-handed, quick-handed opponent. So I don't understand why people want to see Gervonta Davis in there. But again, they look at his athleticism, they look at his punching power, and they think, all right, he's ready. No, he's not ready. And the bar was set very high, and it keeps being set high when guys like Lomachenko, De La Hoya, and Mayweather enter the top pound-for-pound rankings when they barely have double digits in terms of professional fights. But that's the high expectation a lot of people have. Gervonta Davis has a lot of good things going for him. He also has a lot of bad things. He's been publicly at war with his own promoter, Floyd Mayweather. He's been inconsistent in the ring. He gets hit. He misses weight. He's getting into little, you know, high school fits over the internet against one of the Charlo brothers. Meanwhile, Lomachenko's making guys like Walters and Ringo now quit. I mean, so do you really think at this point in his career Davis has the mentality to stand in there against a guy like Lomachenko? Because that's the other thing. I was reading some comments in one article, and somebody was saying, well, maybe Davis loses against Lomachenko, but it would be a good experience for him even if he loses, and he's so tough, I don't see him being stopped. Well, Walters was tough and he hit hard. He ended up quitting. Same thing with Sosa. So a guy doesn't have to be a super mega power puncher in order to make you quit. All he has to do is humiliate you, prevent you from hitting him, and he can hit you whenever he wants. Oh, somebody just subscribed. Shout out to Luke Peterson for subscribing. But yeah, like I was saying, you don't have to face a power puncher to quit. Look at Leonard again, Duran against Leonard in the rematch. He wasn't getting beat up, but he just knew he wasn't ever going to catch Leonard, so he said, you know what, I'm just going to pull out of this real quick, save myself the embarrassment. I can, you know, put yourself in the mind of a fighter. He can't go on. He can't land a punch. He's getting emotional. His emotions get the best of him. He says, you know what, I'm pulling out. And so far, Gervonta Davis, we don't know that much about him. So, you know, put him in there against any other type of name other than Lomachenko, because I think the bar is very high for Gervonta Davis, and I don't see so far. I don't see why it should. You know, I mean, Adrian Broner stepped up to the plate. I think Golden Boy was managing pretty well at this stage of his career, and then he ran into Maidana, very tough fighter, couldn't get past him. And Broner has turned out to be a good fighter. No, he didn't live up to the next Mayweather billing, and I don't know if Gervonta Davis can. But I tell you what, if he wants to live up to that billing, it doesn't help to stick him in there against Lomachenko right now. There's just too much of a dividing class. And by the way, there's better fights for Lomachenko at this point. Now, first of all, he's gonna fight Linares. Then he could take on maybe... I'd rather see Robert Easter Jr. in there against Lomachenko rather than Tank Davis. And I would rather see maybe... You know what? For Gervonta Davis, there's a lot of names out there that he could fight for. So, for example, let me look at the top 10 rankings here in Ring Magazine. Ivan Mendy, who beat Luke Campbell a couple of years ago. He's a very good fighter. He's 32, I believe. He's got good power. He's a bull in the ring. He has good defensive abilities. He's got experience at this point in his career. So put him in against Mendy. See how he handles a strong fighter. Or put him in, you know, if you want to see how he handles a boxer, put him in there against Luke Campbell, the guy who lost to Mendy. Or put him in there against Javier Fortuna, who just lost a razor close decision against Easter Jr. Fortuna's a southpaw, quick hands, good foot movement. Not as good technically as Lomachenko, but you know, it would be a good test for Davis to see how he handles a mover. But then again, you could put him in against Richard Comey, who always brings it. Maybe put him in against Shafikov, who I think he's fighting at 130, but you know, just to see how he reacts to adversity. Hell, even a guy like Anthony Crawler would give him a good test. So there's a bunch of tests that Davis has to pass before we can even start talking about putting him in there against Lomachenko. But that's the nature of the business. A lot of people tend to overshoot their expectations, and they want to put a young, flashy guy in against everybody because, again, hand speed and power, that's what impresses people the most. But anyway, tell me if you guys disagree or agree with me. Does Gervonta Davis, is he in the running to face Lomachenko? Or is that asking too much of him at 23 and with barely any big names on his record? Don't forget, he's going to be taking on Jesus Cuellar on April the 21st on the Adrian Broner Jesse Vargas undercard. Now, this is a good fight for Gervonta Davis because Cuellar is strong, but he's also coming up in weight. He hasn't fought in a year, and he's slow. Yeah, he was outboxed by Abner Mares. And Davis, I think, has more athletic ability than Mares. Actually, I know he has faster hands, better reflexes, better power. I just don't know if he's the better fighter at this point. But we should see against Cuellar. It's a nice stay busy fight. And after that, like I said, put him in there against Comey, put him in there against Javier Fortuna. Even the Fortuna fight, I think it's a little too much of a risk. But hey, that's boxing. You gotta know what your guy has in the tank. No pun intended, if you want him to succeed. So anyway, guys, that was another BDA Boxing Transmission. Tells what we got right, tells what we got wrong. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to BDA Live, where we hold our live podcasts. Don't forget to hit that notification bell for notifications. And we'll see you on the next one, folks. Take care.